Okay, another Friday. Um, I guess this week there's a certain cause to celebrate in a way. As of Wednesday, I'm officially off Lamictal. So right now, the only medication I'm on is 100 milligrams a night of Seroquel. I mean, I'm still taking flaxseed oil and uh, omega-3 oils every morning. The omega-3 is like a vegan thing, so it's instead of like fish oil, I take um, like it's an algae-based oil. So I think the idea is that the fish have the oil in them because they eat the algae, maybe. I don't know. But I take those vitamins, and I take a vitamin B12, but that's just because I was told as a vegan I should be taking a B12. Um, so yeah, I've been doing these videos for about a year. Now I'm off one of these mood stabilizers. So I feel like I should be giving like a, what do I think? I haven't rewatched any of these videos. I've just been recording them and saving them on an external hard drive. If I think about like over the last year, I feel like, I began this thing kind of depressed. And I still have that kind of lingering depression. There's a piece of me that thinks, and I always kind of felt like, I don't know that Lamictal was ever doing anything. And there was no way for me to really know, is this having an effect on me? Is my mood being fluctuated because of life circumstances? Because of what I'm eating, because of exercise, because of work, because of family, because of travel? Like, how do I really know what the drug is doing to me versus what, is just life? And that's really hard because if a drug is making you puke or freak out or like all the negative, crazy side effects, it's very obvious. But I was never really able to tell if it was a therapeutic thing. So I'm off it. Am I doing wonderful? No, not necessarily. The last week or so, maybe last week and a half, I've had a lot of trouble sleeping. I feel like some of the depression is kind of lifted a little. I'm more like animated or like ramped up, which is, I find myself more talkative and that kind of thing, which is good, I think. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Um, Getting off Seroquel that'll be a different game. Like, I do know that drug helps me to sleep. I think that having been on it for a couple of years now, I wasn't on Seroquel for the whole 10 years or so that I've been on these meds, but the last couple of years I've been on Seroquel, and it definitely helps me to sleep. So if I'm having a little bit of trouble sleeping already, and like now I'm going to go off this thing, like that could cause some issues. This past week I had to get up early in the morning a couple times, like 7 a.m. And that was tough, especially if I had trouble falling asleep the night before. Sleep is kind of a real touchy thing for me. Um, Sometimes I think that part of like my issue is maybe if I went to bed earlier, like maybe if I really committed and made a change to like I'm gonna go to bed at like 8 o'clock every, like whenever the sun sets, I'm gonna start getting ready for bed. So in the winter that might be getting bed at 7, in the summer maybe 9, but I tend to more go to bed around like midnight. I get ready for bed, but then I read it. Part of my kind of routine is I take my medication and brush my teeth, and then I sit and I read a chapter, a couple, chapter, sometimes quite a few chapters, whatever. I sit and read, and then I meditate, and then I go to bed. That's definitely helped my sleep. It hasn't been great lately. So that's where that is. Work lately has been a little tricky. Like I've been busy visiting all these schools. Like the last 2 weeks, I went into New York City for a week and visited a handful of schools, and then this current past week, I visited a couple schools, and then I drove up to Massachusetts, go to a doctor's appointment, had a meeting. So like I haven't been doing like a whole lot of web development stuff for clients, and I don't have like a ton of projects coming in right now. It's a little slow, and I haven't done a whole lot of new stuff with the unschooling website. I had something interesting, my drop shipping site that I have alluded to that I haven't given details on. I got my first sale, and it was a huge one. So I had actually hired some people to do some search engine optimization on it, and then I had them stop. I didn't feel like they were doing necessarily what their money's worth. So I didn't really do much for the last few weeks on that. I've been trying to figure out like a more cost-effective way to do things. And then all of a sudden I had a sale come in. It was a big one. It was a $300 sale, and it was like $100 worth of profit in there. So that was kind of cool. It was like kind of rejuvenated my faith that there's something there. But I just feel like there's like all these different damn things going on, and I don't want to get too distracted with them all. So I'm going to go up to like New Hampshire or Maine or something next month and kind of settle down, stay in one place for a month, work on this book or whatever it is that I'm kind of packaging together for, I'm trying to put together maybe a presentation or a talking thing, or maybe it'll be YouTube videos or a podcast. I don't know what, but I think I mentioned I had started writing a book, sharing all the things I've learned about unschooling and alternative learning, and I want to try to like get this message to kids that are in school. So I'm gonna like try to maybe plan, not maybe, I'm going to run some like workshops at libraries and do like a little presentation sharing all the stuff I've learned, and basically say all the things that are going in the book, and then things that come up, the questions that are asked, and things from those conversations I'll put in the book. And at the end of the day, like I don't think necessarily a bunch of kids are going to buy or read the book, but I think that if I take all the contents from the book and put that into YouTube videos or a podcast or something, I think kids would watch that and learn from it. And maybe having the book is maybe a way for me to organize my thoughts, or maybe it gives more credibility to these things. Kind of like in this bridge of like, what comes next? What makes the most sense? What am I really trying to do? Who am I? What is this shit? All this stuff that I'm doing. But I think it'd be nice to go up to like New Hampshire, and like it's cool being around my family. I love them, but it's not the most inspiring and encouraging thing. It's more like I'm doubted and questioned, and not that they don't support me, but that they don't understand what I'm trying to do, and I can't really articulate it. I feel like I'm making a painting, and I don't know exactly what the finished product is going to look like, but I just keep, I know it'll work out. And like having done some painting and being a painter, like I kind of get that that's one of the things I loved about painting was like seeing things evolve from like, you'd work on it for a week, and then you got to let it dry, and you come back and let it dry and work on it like week by week, and you see how it goes from being like shit and then nothing and then weird, and then it just kind of morphs, and the final product is not what you necessarily started with, but there's a essence of it, and you just kind of stick with it. And so I'm doing that with all the stuff I'm doing. So yeah, I feel like I got good lighting here for this video, huh? All right, that's good. I think that's enough for this week.